welcome. Wow. I want to start off and show you an artifact from my first semester here at Alma College. Notice those R's, when they showed up in my mailbox, they were F's. Now, I did have some success, and I found a home. But I want to tell you that those R's, those F's, they were a failure, and they hurt. It was devastating, it was painful. But through that process, I found what I was meant to be in this world. So let's talk about how did I get there? Well, long ago, not so far away, I came to Alma College. And I had my head set on a career path that would be safe, it would be secure, and it would provide for all of my hopes and dreams in this world. I enrolled in those classes, and I went. But I didn't have any emotion about those classes. None. And as the semester went on, I felt like I was drowning, except for those two places where I had success. And that's how I was finding a home. So the semester went on, and I just started going through the motions. I went to class, I took notes, I took exams, and I started a quest praying that I would pass these classes by some miracle. But when that report card showed up in the mail at Christmas time, it didn't happen. So, at the conclusion of that semester, I had to come meet with Dr. Potter, who was the provost at the time. He informed me I was on academic probation, that I lost my scholarships if I were to choose to stay on, but if I chose to stay on, that there would be a plan. But I had to come meet with him. I had completed what I call an absolute academic faceplant. But what happened is my dad and I, we drove over, and we sat down during Christmas break, and we came together with a plan. Real quick for the record, I don't recommend the experience of academic probation because some brides come with dowries. This one came with student loans. So, what started that journey? He sat me down, Dr. Potter did, and he asked me, what did I want my life to be known for when I was done? What did I want my legacy to be in this world? Because I was meant to be something great. And he didn't let me give just the easy answers. Because after all, who doesn't want a lake house and travel the world and, make a difference and have a happy life? He made me dig deep. And he challenged me to take some risks, which was completely new to this girl. Every step I took in my world, it was calculated, it was safe, and I knew what the probable outcomes would be. And he challenged me to be a maverick. Now, I grew up in a little town. I had never even heard the word maverick. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what one needed to do to become one. So the idea of taking risks was not something I had ever thought about. I grew up being told, go to school, get good grades, and you'll get a safe, secure job, Jenise. I went to school. I didn't have perfect attendance, but I always went to school. And I did my homework, as much as any middle school, high school student ever does their homework. But I did study. I was on the honor roll. You name the appropriate clubs and organizations that a student that's going to be successful in higher ed is going to be part of, and I was there. But something happened. I didn't follow my passion. I was doing something that I thought was expected of me, not what I thought I really wanted to be. So, I was really good at that school thing. Standardized tests, I could bubble those perfect bubbles every single time. I never went out of the lines, ever. And I had horrible test anxiety, that every single time there was a test that had bubbles, I had these hives that were the size of golf balls. But I could play the game. After all, I met all the academic requirements to get into what I believe to be the best private liberal arts college in Michigan, right? Go Scots. But Dr. Potter took me back and he said, no, Jenise, it's about more. You need to dig deep. You need to take some risks. And And part of being on academic probation is you're kind of at, their whim. You're going to follow the game that they're going to tell you you need to play. And so I had to. And then I did. And then he kept telling me, dig deep, dream, take a risk. But is that what life is all about? We'll come back to that. So I want to talk, before we talk about that, the power of the liberal arts. Because they made all the difference for me. Remember, I was that calculated, safe plan? And part of that liberal arts experience is you've got to fill those with strips. And those are out of our comfort zone. And so Dr. Potter, he started plugging me into these classes. And I think it was more than just classes. He plugged me into the instructors that he knew would give me the experiences that I needed so I could fly. So that next 14 weeks, January 1994, I know I'm dating myself, I was completely out of my comfort zone. But some amazing things happened. I fell in love with the beauty of language with Dr. Palmer. I discovered the powerful stories that history has to tell if we'll just stop and listen with Dr. Yavanditi. I discovered the power and the importance of being a critically thinking and questioning and involved citizen with Dr. Davis in political science. And then there was a class that Dr. Potter snuck in, Intro to Secondary Education. And I found my passion. And all through this process, I was also assigned an advisor that held me accountable even when I didn't want to be, and reminded me that it was okay to take risks, and he challenged me to think outside the box, as long as I kept learning and expanding my capacity with our very young Dr. Michael Selman. I spent the next 14 weeks, I was completely out of my comfort zone. The questions they asked him weren't absolute black and white. There wasn't a single bubble on a single test. Granted, I didn't have any highs. But it was new, and it was exciting. And I was falling in love with this new perspective. I was falling in love because I took a risk. So, like other first-year college students, I came out of that K-12 system that we're taught from a really early age that there is a right answer and there is a wrong answer. And the only way to achieve success in that system is to make sure you have the most right answers. We don't have time to fill the wrong bubble. And today, those standards and that high-stakes testing, while it means well, it drives everything. Graduation, class rank, scholarships, and now even teacher effectiveness ratings. But life beyond the classroom. Give your students real-world experience, we're told. That real world demands mavericks. It demands we approach life differently. So, looking back, my original question, what is life really about? For me, it's been a journey. It's been a journey taking risks, questioning, asking questions, dreaming big, and following your heart. And through that face plan, I now stand before you on the stage as a very proud first-generation college graduate who discovered so much more than I ever dreamed was possible, all because I failed. And the cool part is along the way, I've been able to make a difference in the lives of my students. So, life, what is it really about? Why are we here? For me, I truly believe that we must embrace failure when it crosses our path. Because when we choose those simple, safe, calculated choices, we limit our capacity for greatness. We limit our capacity to make that difference that has to be made to ensure a better tomorrow. So, I jokingly call that first semester here at Alma College my Alma College face plant. And I do want to say, it was not on the college's fault at all. It was me. But the beauty of that Alma College face plant is I had a family that supported me unconditionally. And I had an Alma College community that challenged me, that supported me, and told me to take a risk. And I did it. And it was only the beginning. So I stand here today, and the thing that I want to challenge you to do is to think about, what is your passion? My faceplant, my failure, challenged me to become a maverick and do something different. I chose the major that they told me, women don't teach in that field. You need this other one so that you're marketable. Guess who taught in that field 14 of her 15 years? I found my passion through failure. My fuel to my fire, if you want to call it. My calling in this world. First, I taught middle school and high school students, and now today, I am honored and privileged to teach that next generation of teachers because I failed, and I learned from it, and I took a risk. So life, it's really about chasing our dreams. Because you know what? In those dreams, there's lessons to learn. There's risks to take. There's passions to discover. And we have a world that we need to make a better place. So if you happen to be lucky enough to experience your own faceplant, simply get up and keep on moving, because we have a difference to make. So take that risk, and please join me as a maverick. Thank you.